Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's check out a game with apparently had trouble with its titles. Water Margin, A Tale of Clouds and Wind, or if you look it up on the eShop, it is The Tales, or The Tale of Clouds and Wind. I don't know which one that is. I guess we're just going to have to find out the hard way. What do we got for options here? Screen mode, normal, fit. I think fit's what we want. We're just gonna have that stuff on there. 1994, 16-bit, okay. See an open game menu, but here we go. Anything else we get here? Not really. Ooh, seems like the aspect ratio is not so hot. Light shines from the depths of the earth. Heavenly spirits and earthly fiends arise. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's wrong. There we go. And heroes tremble in fear. Vengeful forces seek to destroy. The heroic outlaws of Mount Young. A tale of immortal deeds now begins. Let all listen and take heed. Why couldn't they have done this where the aspect ratio is correct? I just want like a little zoom. Is that so much to ask? Because fit is not fit. That definitely screws around with the aspect ratio. You know what, whatever. Looks like this was on something with a 3-button controller. Xijin Wang Shanyang Li Q. Sure. Chapter 1. Very quickly. General Tang Guang personally leads an assault on Mount Myong with 8 mounted divisions and 2 ground contingents threatening the heroes of the water margin. That's why I have a sword. Take care of it. Okay, so that's a hack and slash. Or what some people call belt scrollers nowadays. Because those guys are morons. Because belt scroller kind of describes like every side-scrolling game if you really want to get technical about it. Whereas a hack and slash is kind of what you do. Yeah, hack and slash. But then some poor folks might confuse hack and slashes with like 3/4 hack and slashes. Like Diablo. Heaven forbid that they maybe should share some of the same categories. Looks like I don't need a button to pick stuff up. It's a really good play. I mean, just like a lot of these games of this type. You know, the golden axes and the magic swords, Knights of the Round. You know, Ninja Turtles, arcade versions of Ninja Turtles. Final Fight. That whole genre of hack and slash games, or beat 'em ups if the term hack and slash doesn't work with games that characters use their fist with. I think I might have played this in the arcade, actually. It does seem really familiar. Unless this was a home console only. I mean, this is definitely a port of a different home console. Considering it has an option screen. I just don't recognize that controller. It might be it's either a Genesis controller, which I don't recall this game being on the Mega Drive or Genesis, or a 3DO controller, which again, I don't really recognize the game being on a 3DO. It can't be like an ST or an Amiga, because generally those games were using either a 1 or 2 button controls. I know the Amiga CD32 technically had like a 5-button controller. But generally, it was just like one button was action, and then the other buttons were like options. Pause and reboot. I mean, that was just the control scheme back then. It's amazing how far we got along with just 1-button controllers. 1 or 2-button controllers. Okay, seems like these guys are infinite until we get rid of him. They can magically run super fast and dodge everything. Again, very traditional with this kind of game. A little cheating AI everywhere. Oh, you managed to get it past me. Couldn't do one out of death. Oh, the volume's kind of low. Certainly lower than I would have expected. Arcade games generally tended to be very, very loud, just to attract attention. See, after many failed advances, Grand Marshal Gao personally takes charge of the troops. 130,000 of the best fighters in the land play the marshes and countless boats. Will this direct assault on outlying force nervous or to retire? Or what? I don't know what that meant. I have no idea. That went by pretty fast. I mean, Water Margins is a very old book. Which, I think this is what this is based on. Okay, X is jump. I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a jump button in this game. How is that the stupid little foot soldiers giving me such a hard time? It's amazing to think of how many of these games were made, following a very, very similar template. But they all managed to be kind of a little fun, I mean, not for many, many hours at a time, but certainly for a couple of minutes at an arcade. Like special moves or anything? Like rolling punches or something? I don't know. Thought maybe it would feature some sort of like Street Fighter style moves that you could activate with left, right, or quarter circles or something. Doesn't seem to be the case. Of course, that's a hack and slash enemy logic, where they're always put a priority on surrounding you, and somehow have a inhuman ability to run past you with some invincibility frames, which you don't have. Oh. Oh, shit, I'm hitting the A button to select magic. Nope, don't mean to do that. It's kind of weird default controls. The B button is your action button. The A button is selects the attacks, and the X button jumps. So it's like the jump button's kind of far away from you. I mean, it sounds vaguely familiar. I might have read about this game in like a game magazine from this time period. Let's see. After the failed attack on Mount Liang, the Song Emperor had no choice but to send an envoy to make peace. The outlaws of Mount Liang were granted amnesty on one condition: that they aid the imperial forces in crushing the uprising in the Alberta lands. If they succeeded, they will be pardoned and given official government positions. Oh yeah, it's definitely the old Chinese novel. It is ringing a bell. I mean, there have been several games based on water margins, and several movies. But it is interesting how this hack and slash genre, this 2D hack and slash genre, is adapted for so many things, even things that it wasn't really appropriate to have a hack and slash game or a beat 'em up game. This guy's a man spreading. I don't want to see that. I have an ice storm going around the house right now, so hopefully we don't lose power sometime today or during our stream, or just at all, if I can possibly help it. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know what the title of this is actually supposed to be. The title on the eShop says, the Tale of Water, or Water and Clouds, or Clouds and Water, and then the card says Water Margin, A Tale of Clouds and Water, but Water Margin actually isn't mentioned anywhere in the listing. Mainly because it's copyrighted work. I'm sure they're just trying to get past the copyright. Although this is a very, very old book. I can't, I don't know if it still has any sort of worldwide copyright or not. I guess you never know. Maybe the estate of the original author still holds that copyright somewhere. This to me is the weirdest option. Like all of these hack and slashes, these side scroll hack and slashes. At some point in time, you can attack enemies off screen, but you can't see them, so there's not like a real efficient way to attack them. But they can certainly attack you. It seems like and like zero games have ever resolved this issue of just keeping the enemies on screen, where you could attack them. That's of this genre. I don't think I've run into a single one where they didn't find the off-screen attacks were unacceptable. Every one of these games has them. Even the modern ones, Streets of Rage 4 has them as well. It's like they never figured out that was annoying to the player, I guess. Which always leads me to believe that people don't really play these games sometimes. I mean, in an arcade game situation, sure, you're just trying to rip off the player as much as possible so that they put some more quarters in. But if you're designing a quote-unquote belt scroller, and you're still doing the off-screen enemy attacks you can attack the off-screen enemy, then I think you're kind of doing something wrong. This is an old game, so it gets a pass. I mean, just barely, though. fighting the, the pink menace here. Everybody has pink armor. I guess I don't have to worry about, mixing colors. All that bloodstained armor coming back. Mix it with the whites. It'll just all be pink. Less trouble. Ooh, a little flicker there. Gives you 9 credits, but why don't we stop it there? This is Outapostrophe. You've been watching The Tale of Clouds and Wind, or if you believe the title screen, A Tale of Clouds and Wind, or if you read the whole title screen, then Water Margins, A Tale of Clouds and Wind, or depending on what region you are, maybe it's The Clouds of Tales. Anyway, yeah, it's an old style, belt scroller, as some people call it. I just call it like a 2D hack and slash. I think this is it doesn't really stand out in any sort of way. I mean, this is very, very typical of this kind of game. But if you're not tired of this genre, then it is a new game to play, and it's interesting to set this game in the backdrop of the old novel. Obviously some reference to some historical figures, though I don't think that was a historical novel necessarily. It controls really well. I wish it had some more options for the emulation. The screen sizes, or the type of filter you used, or even just something simple like the volume control. I mean, you have not much that you can play around with here, which does kind of follow in line of all the QUByte Classics. For the most part, they just get the upscaling right, get the controls right, and the speed right. There's no slowdown or frame drops. But then pretty much everything else is bare bones. I think that's fine if you're just in it for the game. But if you want more options, you might have to find some other way to play it on another platform. But I think it's worth checking out. I mean, again, if you're not tired of this kind of genre of games, I think a lot of new players are not used to these kind of games and having so many choices of them. Since this genre is not as popular as it used to be, so this might be something you're into if you're just kind of starting into this genre. Maybe you played Turtles or something before and you want something that's more like this. Check it out. I think it's well emulated. I think it's good enough, certainly. Do wish there was more options, but that's the only thing I'd really change. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.